All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you right there, just like me here. All right, before I get going, this. If you haven't heard Pinnacle Point's Symphony of Mind, then you're really missing out on some incredible music. If you're a fan of Kansas and you like a guy who can still sing, and that's not a dig, it's not a hit on any particular band that probably should have hired Jerome Mazza as their singer. But anyway, Symphony of Mind is spectacular from start to finish. The songs are all well done. In a perfect world, folks, FM radio would have just grabbed onto this and it would have been in heavy rotation. I don't know, pick a song. I don't have a favorite. Also features the guitar work of Torben Enevoldsen, who I've been promoting this month because he has a new instrumental album out there. Torben is fantastic on this, but he's just fantastic in general. Again, if you like Kansas and you like a guy who can really bring it vocally, Jerome Mazza, one of the best on the scene today. Hoping for some new material from Jerome Mazza. We will wait and see. This comes to you courtesy of our friends over at Escape Music. All right, so as the journey continues, folks, or as the journey turns, look, I said the other day that I think there was going to be a counter suit filed. I had gotten a little intel on that, and not that people can't just find this out for themselves, but I don't like to go full video on something until it breaks in certain publications. And so it's out there. It's out there now. Journey keyboardist Jonathan Cain has filed a lawsuit against Neal Schon. I'm trying to remember back at all the great feuds with different bands. I think of like CCR or maybe Grand Funk Railroad. Stuff never got resolved, but those guys, like, they split apart. They didn't work together. These guys are going out on tour in 2 weeks for the 50th anniversary celebration. And so it's been a PR war. It's been a battle to make one person look worse than the other person. These guys don't, I mean, there's no love between these two guys. Zero. Zippo. And if these allegations are true, this is to make Neal Schon look like a glutton. Like he's out there just maxing out the American Express card, a card apparently that he didn't have access to for quite some time. And then they gave him a card, and then he ran the card, into the ground. $400,000 in a single month during 2021. Or maybe no, 2022, last year. So see, 2023, yeah, I've got to flip the calendar in my brain. But yeah, so last year during the tour, it's alleged that he spent $400,000 in a single month. Cain's allegations come more than 2 months after Schon filed a lawsuit against his longtime bandmate, contending that he was being denied access to the American Express card. Actually, I think what Cain did was he put a limit on the American Express card. Cain was basically the trustee of the credit card and has been since 1998, from what I understand. Had his own card, I think, and basically handled the band's finances. Look, Neal delegated all of these responsibilities, including the phone call that he made to Steve Perry to tell Perry that, hey, we're looking for other singers. So, I am going to defend John Cain here a little bit, is that he's been put in a difficult situation. You manage the finances, at least in this area with this credit card, and you call Steve Perry and tell him Steve's out and we're looking for other singers. And you find a singer, which Jonathan Cain was the guy who found Steve Augeri. And then Neal said, well, my turn to find a singer, and he found Arnell. And, this doesn't look good because it's just two guys battling over the kind of money that most of us will never see in our lifetimes. Again, there are people in St. James City and Sanibel Island and Fort Myers Beach. And I keep bringing this up because I'm trying to raise awareness to it. Governor DeSantis, President Corpse Man, and I do mean corpse, not core man. Okay, I meant corpse. You guys should be all over this to try to help people in Southwest Florida recover from one of the worst things you can imagine down here. So I'm putting that in here just to kind of illustrate how foolish this is. There's more, though. It says here, in a countersuit filed in California, Cain said that during the first month of the billing cycle, Schon obtained the American Express card. Now, it sounds like Schon said, you know what, finally, I get to use this American Express card. And so he rang up more than $50,000 in personal expenses for the billing period ending September 15th, 2021. All right, so they're saying 2021 here. So maybe the calendar, they have the calendar wrong. I don't know. First they say last year. We're in 2023. But anyway, this says 2021. All right, here we go. So it goes on to say, for the 1 month billing period ending January 15th, 2022, Schon allegedly charged more than $100,000 of his personal expenses on the American Express card. For the 1 month billing period from February 13th, 2022, Schon allegedly charged approximately $30,000 of his personal expenses. Well, at least it's going down. But then we get to the 1 month billing period ending March 16th of 2022. Schon allegedly charged more than $400,000 of his personal expenses on the American Express cards. They broke it down. $42,000 to various PayPal accounts, $104,000 to Chrome Hearts jewelry and apparel, more than $31,000 to Bergdorf Goodman department store in New York City, and over $54,000 for his personal insurance premiums. According to Cain's lawsuit, Schon's charges placed considerable pressure on Journey and its ability to cover normal tour expenses. Yeah, that's reasonable. I'm thinking, though, the tour covered all of that and a whole lot more. Schon was spending Journey's money, and Cain is the one who was and is ultimately liable for the American Express account and Schon's charges on the Amex card. Even with the $30,000 limit on Schon's card on the Nemoda Amex account, referring to the company Cain and Schon set up to operate the band, Schon still managed to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional excessive personal expenses through other tour personnel and travel agents. For example, the budget allocated a maximum of $1,500 per night for hotel rooms for Schon and Cain. However, Schon managed to stay in hotel suites that cost in excess of $5,000 per night. Why? I mean, just after the recent tour ended in Honolulu, Schon stayed an extra week in a hotel suite. They cost $6,000 a night and charged more than $100,000 in expenses to the Amex account. In a statement to Billboard, Schon's attorney, Skip Miller, called allegations ridiculous and as phony as a $3 bill. He said the countersuit was merely sour grapes after a recent incident in which Schon demanded that Cain stop playing events for former U.S. President Donald Trump. We want Cain to just focus on Journey and its fans, Miller said. So, yeah, and you have the little copy and paste journalism, which just happens pretty much in every article. It provides valuable context. This is what I hear all the time. It's context. You post something on Facebook and we need context. We're going to show you what context looks like, Dave. All right. So anyway, they go on to talk about the famous duet, or no, there are three ladies singing: Marjorie Taylor Greene, Kimberly Guilfoyle, and Carrie Lake, all singing "Don't Stop Believin'" in Mar-a-Lago. By the way, I think that was a huge, like, catastrophic mistake. And the reason I say that is because this wasn't just like, hey, we're going to the White House and we're going to do a little tour. It's going to be an educational thing. No, this was a campaign kickoff. And I would say that if it was the other guy, Corpse Man, as I like to call him, Corpse Man, not Core Man, but Corpse Man. Say Neal Schon went and did a campaign event for him. And to Neal's credit, he's never done that kind of thing. I think a long time ago, he actually did something for Mitt Romney, I remember, which was weird because at that time, people thought Romney was the Republican, which he has turned out to be whatever. He turned out to be one of the worst people in the history of the government, probably. Strange man, a chameleon of sorts, much like Neal and John. They're chameleons. And what are they doing? They're blending in. They're blending in with their narratives. That didn't make any sense. But Neal, his narrative is that John's not a team player. He's trying to make the man political. John's narrative is Neal is spending everything we make and he needs to be stopped. Let me be fair here. Both of these things probably should stop. Both of them need to stop. Now, again, these are allegations. Neal's lawyer comes out and fires back really hard. I mean, either he spent the money, though, or he didn't spend the money. I mean, pretty simple. As far as Kane, yeah, he did go to that event. He's not denying he went to the event. There's a video of the event. You can hear them all singing "Don't Stop Believin'." Yeah. Anyway, Trump, by the way, still can't say that Operation Warp Speed and all that. He can't say that that was a bad thing. He just can't do it. David Brody, who is a journalist for Real America's Voice, spoke to the former president and gave him every opportunity to say that maybe in hindsight, maybe I didn't get all the information, anything. He could have thrown anyone under the bus. He said it was one of the greatest achievements, one of the world's greatest achievements. And people are flocking to go to those rallies again. It's a cult of personality. I'm sorry. Yes, I liked the economy in 2019. But there are bigger principles at work, and people really need to consider those things. And don't follow somebody because, they're interesting, they're a character and all that stuff. We have big problems in this country. I mentioned what's going on down at the beach where I live, where there are piles of just rubble. Okay, and you got guys maxing out the Amex card or fighting over, $5,000 hotel suites. These people don't have a place to live. All right. And it's not just the rich people who foolishly built on the beach. It's people much further away in communities where, manufactured houses were just destroyed, wiped out. And we need to call attention to that. So if you live in the state of Florida, call your local state rep, call your congressman, call your senator, whoever it is, and say, hey, don't forget about these people. Politics is really not the answer to most problems. I'll say this, but when we go through an emergency like this, an actual real emergency, people should be aware of it and they should do something. They shouldn't just show up for a press conference and a photo op and then leave those people to figure this out when there are piles of debris and rubble still in front of their house, and they have no house. They have just a hole in the wall is what their house is. So yeah, sorry to go off on this tangent, but it's what I do. Hope you guys enjoyed the Joe Lynn Turner interview. Joe, what a guy, huh? What a guy. I knew it was going to be good, and I'm smiling because I knew I was going to meet a kindred soul, and he's just a great man. And what a great story, too. Check out his new album. It's called Belly of the Beast. And don't forget about Pinnacle Point. Check them out. Symphony of Mind. And until I do this again, of course, I will see you then.